So we want to talk about natural training versus training on medications.
Exactly.
And I like the word medication.
People always ask me, how many sets, how many reps, but it varies. It depends on, people that are cycling and people that are natural. You train differently, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course you do.
And for me, I think the guys that are decided to train natural, it's a great move, and you need to stay natural as long as you can. Build a foundation first before you start taking stuff, if you ever take stuff. And what I think is training natural, it is about the heavy weight, it is about the low reps, and it is about getting stronger. As your muscles get stronger, they're going to get bigger. And as you do get stronger, your ligaments don't keep up with your muscles, so you got to be careful. So when you start taking the steroids, your ligaments aren't getting stronger, but your muscles are. So when you're benching, 400 or 500 pounds, eventually something's going to give. Something's going to break.
They're all benching 400 or 500 pounds.
Well, I assume they are. I was.
Well, look at this. Okay, look at this. My beginning training was powerlifting.
Yeah.
And I went to YMCA. They had like shitty weights and bent bars and not much to work with. But we always did bench press, squat, and deadlift because they had powerlifting meets, and I entered them, and I did pretty good. My best bench was 455, and I built a base, and I wasn't doing any drugs at all because back then we didn't know what they were.
Yeah,
it was like drink a lot of milk, like 3 quarts a day, eat a lot of meat.
We
chicken.
were on the same program, Rick.
You know what I mean, right?
I benched every day though. Yeah, you got to build a base, and if you ever decide to take stuff. I found for me that, doing higher reps and pumping the muscle and going for the pump and the burn, I grow better than lifting heavy weights.
Right.
And so taking anabolics, when I decided to take anabolics, it took me a long time to learn this, by the way, so I'm saving you guys about 10 to 15 years of trial and error.
Good. Sure, yeah.
Because it took me 10 to 15 years to learn this. I worked out heavy every day, for years and years and years before I discovered that, I think I walked into Gold's Venice one day and I saw Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier and Paul Dillette working out, and they were doing like 40, 50 reps with, 50 pounds. And I was like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah, that's a lot
Are you
of reps,
kidding me?
Yeah.
And they're 300-pound monsters. And, I could see the pain in their face. I could see them sweating, and I could see their muscles blowing up. And I was like, there must be something to that.
Well, if you're going to do that many reps, what's the recovery time in between?
You know what? The less rest, honestly, to get that really insane pump where it burns and it hurts and you want to stop is, resting less between sets, maybe 30 seconds and just hitting it again.
Okay.
And keeping that burn going the whole workout.
Okay.
And for me, I feel that's what's going to make that muscle grow if you're taking stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if you're not taking stuff, doing 40 or 50 reps I don't think is going to benefit you as much.
You're going to look like a shoestring.
Yeah, it's better to do the heavier weight, lower reps.
Exactly. And
there's misconception. I just wanted to clear that up because people say, well, what about this? What about that? So basically, the answer is different if you're taking stuff or if you're natural.
You remember back in the day when you started training and. Oh God, I'm going way back, even before. Where everybody said, like Steve Reeves, you train your whole body 3 times a week, and that's what they did.
Yeah, everybody did that,
and they built good bodies.
All of them, they all looked great.
3 days a week, and then off every other day.
They weren't eating as much, they weren't taking as much stuff,
right?
And they looked better.
Exactly.
So figure that out.
And they weren't doing as many sets.
Yeah.
Every set was 3. Every workout I think was 3 sets of 10. Well, I tried that recently. I did 3 sets, and I had 8 to 10 reps, or maybe a 10 to 12, or maybe 12 to 20. I varied around. I made some pretty good progress on the 3 sets because I wasn't burnt out that 4th and 5th set where you say, oh, I got to do this now. Because training is not supposed to be drudgery. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And when it's not fun anymore, then it becomes a life sentence.
Yeah, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not going to get the benefits.
Right.
If you're doing it, if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to get the same benefits. You have to really enjoy it and love it. And another thing is that a lot of people will, argue about what's the best way to train. And the truth of the matter is if you enjoy it and you believe it and your mind believes this is the best way to do it, it's going to work.
Yes.
Whether you're training Dorian Yates style, whether you're training, Arnold Schwarzenegger style, it doesn't matter. If you believe it and you're enjoying it and you're killing it in the gym, pushing it to the limit, and your intensity is high as it could be, you're going to get results. And that's the trick. And Arnold used to say that he said that he could walk in the gym and do 1 set of 1 exercise and leave the gym, and that 1 set of 1 exercise is more productive than most people's 2-hour workout.
That's true.
And I believe that 100%.
That's true.
Because of his mind, his mentality, and what he did and how he concentrated and how he squeezed the muscle and the pump he got. That's what it's all about. A lot of people never ever understand that aspect of bodybuilding or working out.
No, I was doing shrugs today. I did 3 sets of 10 reps with 45-pound dumbbells. And there was a young kid next to me down the racks doing 90-pound dumbbells. He's probably 160 pounds, and he was struggling. And I thought, why are you using this heavy weight when I can do this at 45 and my traps are starting to pump, and you're getting nothing out of this?
Yeah.
They're killing themselves with a heavy weight, but they don't know what they're doing, not getting emotion out of it. So going back to natural training, if you're going to use heavy weight, use good form.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I see guys throwing up and arching on their bench press. Their stomach scraping on the ceiling just to try to get that heavy weight up.
And what's funny is they don't look around and observe the more advanced people and see what they're doing. Like they're just blinded to what's going on around them. You know, when I was younger and smaller, I would look at the biggest guy in the gym and I would watch him. And I would make mental notes and I would learn. You know, that's life is learning. You know, if I see, you know, there's a guy that's successful and he's driving a Bentley and he owns this and owns that business, I'm going to listen to what he's saying because he knows something I don't.
Exactly.
Same with working out. I see a guy that has, you know, incredible shoulders and he's training shoulders. I'm going to sit and watch him.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I will still observe people because I don't think that I can't still learn a lot.
I notice you watching me a lot. But you viewers who watch are really into bodybuilding, and bodybuilding takes a different mindset, takes a different type of training, takes a different diet. You know, you just don't cut calories and say I'm losing weight because you'll still retain body fat, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to cut the carbs, keep your protein high, and that's another concept. People will say, well, if you take high protein, you do low carbs, where do you get the energy to train on? Where do you get it?
My mental strength.
Exactly.
I'm a freaking animal.
Exactly.
As soon as I walk in the gym, I'm ready, no matter what.
It doesn't have to do with all those carbs taking in.
Yeah.
And people question, well, how do you know? Because I've been there and you've been there, and it works. And that's the old days of what Arnold and the guys do. That was very low carb, high protein. And then Sundays was a junk day, and so you ate the junk, and then you felt like shit on Monday, and then you started your diet again.
Yeah.
But you just get a lot of the energy from eating fats as well. But if you have the mindset, like you say, and you go in the gym and you're ready to go to have fun, you'll have fun. I went just the other day and just did arms. I'm just going to do arms today. I got such a pump, I couldn't bend them. Yeah. And I've had weeks where I got no pump.
Yeah, that's the greatest feeling, you know, the pump in the gym. And a lot of people don't ever, I've had so many clients that have came to train with me and they've been training for 15, 20 years and they've never felt what a pump feels like. They don't even know what it means.
They don't know what it means.
When I explain it to them, they don't even understand what I'm talking about. And so I put them on a machine and I have them do 40 reps, squeeze at the top, stretch at the bottom, and you know they stop and they're like, it hurts too much, I can't keep going. And I'm like, that's a pump.
That's the point.
They're like, well, I don't like the pump. I'm like, no, you're going to learn to like the pump because that's what's going to make you grow.
Well, when you're training natural, like when you started out and I started out and you did these workouts and you went heavy, you got to pump every time. You felt it.
Yeah.
You did. And then you got sore. And another misconception is in order to grow to be a bodybuilder, you don't have to be sore all the time because if you're sore, you're overtraining.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't want to be sore all the time.
Yeah.
And back then we were doing 3 days a week and those days off. And I know you were doing 7 days a week, but you need those rest periods. At least rest one of those muscles so it's not working every day.
Yeah.
In order to make growth. All right. So now when you're on the juice, it's a different story, because that gives you your recovery time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my theory, which I say all the time, everyone's heard a million times, and people will still argue it, which cracks me up. But I still say there's no such thing as overtraining. And what I mean by that is as long as you're eating the necessary nutrients and you're getting the sleep and rest required, there is no such thing as overtraining. And I like to say people that say overtraining are lazy people, and that's their excuse to not train as much as they should. And people will still come out and say, oh, you know, and if I was them, I'd be embarrassed to say that because they're basically admitting that they're not willing to go in there and spend hours and hours and hours doing what it takes to build a championship physique. If they are the ones that throw that back out at me to say, no, there is such thing as overtraining, you can't, and you would think they would maybe listen and say, well, maybe there's something to that. You know, maybe there's a reason Arnold trained 6 hours a day, 6 days a week back in his day, and he looked incredible. Mm-hmm. You know, he was ahead of his time, you know, and now guys are training an hour a day. And the thing is, what people don't understand is that drugs nowadays, there's a pill for everything.
Yes.
So there is ways for people to take the shortcut. And if you do take the shortcuts, you can get away without training as hard, as often, doing cardio, so on and so forth.
Right.
You know, there's an easy way out for everything, but it's going to have its negatives.
Exactly.
Whatever it does for you positive, it's going to do negative. So if you decide to take the easy road, the easy way out, it's not the best choice, and it's going to have its negative side effects.